Is 20 different size boxes and configurations. This is a small example of the various sizes that you can make when you use this template. Additionally, the template has some really neat features to it that will allow you to make what we call a baker's box. You can make different shapes in here just by using the guidelines on the template. And the last thing I want to show you about the style box before I go and make one is that this is a box that it has an attached lid to it. So this is a baker's box. So the template was designed specifically to be used with 12 by 12 paper, standard cardstock that you see in most of the stores out there today. It looks something like this. This is how it looks when you use it specifically for 12 by 12, but there's some markings on here that allow you to make the smaller boxes that I showed. And I will demonstrate that here in a moment, but you can make a box this big, or this big, or this big, all the way down to something, as small as this, a little pendant box. So it's very simple to use. All you have to do is place it on a piece of cardstock and trace it. And as I mentioned a moment ago, it's 12 by 12 from the beginning so that you have minimal cuts. So all I have to do is start over here. There's a little V in here that I trace. I trace these other V's down here. There's one down here in the lower left-hand corner. And there's 4 up the sides here. So I'm just tracing these little V's. The next thing you have to do is you have to score the lines that are indicated on the template. So I normally do this on a softer surface, but I start on the left side and I score down these grooves that are in the template. Then I come to the right side and I grab the ones that are over here all the way down the side of the template as well. Then I go to the horizontal ones, and there's 4 of those, and I come across here like this, and I have all those scores in there that I need. If I wanted to at this point, this is a little hard to see on the camera, but if I wanted to at this point make the smaller boxes, there's little V's over here all along the side, and there's corresponding V's indices on the other side. So what I would do is I would trace the left side of this pattern over here, and I'd place my score lines over here. Additionally, I would score these horizontal lines, but I would not do the ones on the right side. So then you just slide the template to the size box you want. So if you wanted a box this big, you would just slide it to these indices over here. There's one down here, there's one right here, and the corresponding one is right over here. So all I'm doing is I'm bisecting those little V's with the cardstock, and then I would come over here and finish off my right side. So I would come over here and trace this part down this side, trace the perimeter, and then I would finish off the scores down this side. And then I would be able to make a smaller box like this one. So you can see that basically to use that one, this indice was used. Alright, so back to the regular part of the demonstration. When you're done tracing and cutting, you end up with something like this. So I just make sure that I've got these creased down, all of them creased, sharply. Use a bone folder, or if you're using something like I'm using a crochet needle, that also will help crease these for you. So you end up here, and there's 4 in this direction. So now, when I'm normally doing this, I will use a more permanent glue, but just for the demonstration, I'm using this roll tape. So it's quicker, and I don't have to wait for anything to dry. I'm just applying glue on these 4 little tiny tabs that are coming in. I think I've run out. Nope, there it is again. Okay, so now I have to fold this up. I'm going to make sure that I get this edge to this edge when I bring it together, just like that. And I come to this side and I make sure my corners lined up, and I connect these 2 pieces. If you're using a liquid glue, you can use paper clips to hold them in place while it's drying. So this is a little challenging to get this totally on the camera, but it's the same principle as I showed a moment ago. And now I want to bring these guys together. I applied glue to the wrong side of that flap. Okay, so here's my box. Just folds over. This is the top, and it immediately fits into the bottom. So that's the longest one I made using the template standard straight out of the gate. And what else I want to point out to you is that this template has these patterns in here to give you the perfect placement of, say, the oval to get this sort of effect. And all I would do is I would just come over here and trace the oval and then cut it out with an X-Acto. I used acetate in this sample on the back end, so it's just see-through. The other options you have is there's a slanted line over here, so you can get a little off-centered oval with a slant, and then there's a rectangle that you can use. So this template's called the Baker's Box template.